Grief has a way of filling every corner of a room, pressing on the eardrums till the only sound is gloom. The kind of sadness that rewires what the senses trust, that turns the sweetest memories to something close to dust. There are people sitting inside sorrows too heavy to explain, who have not stopped believing but have lost the frequency, who know the voice is somewhere in the middle of the pain, but cannot find the signal through the static of their grief. Teach me to hear you in the trembling, in the places where the noise has swallowed everything. Not in the triumph, not the Sunday morning clarity, but in the broken middle of the suffering. Teach me to hear you when the sadness fills the atmosphere, when the tears have made a language that the words cannot translate. There is something underneath the sorrow that keeps drawing near. Teach me to hear before it gets too late. Elijah heard him not in earthquake, not in fire, not in wind, but in the thin and quiet voice that followed after. And the ones who learned to listen past the chaos and the dim discover God was never far, just quieter than the disaster. There are seasons where the silence feels like punishment or loss, where the heart keeps sending signals into what feels like void. But the stillness is not absence, it has always been the cost of learning how to hear past everything that noise destroys. Teach me to hear you in the trembling, in the places where the noise has swallowed everything. Not in the triumph, not the Sunday morning clarity, but in the broken middle of the suffering. Teach me to hear you when the sadness fills the atmosphere, when the tears have made a language that the words cannot translate. There is something underneath the sorrow that keeps drawing near. Teach me to hear before it gets too late. Because sadness is not the absence of His presence, it is often where His voice comes closest to the bone. The place is stripped of comfort, stripped every every false pretense are the places where a soul finally learns it's not alone. And what sounds like silence to the grieving, unacquainted ear is a language being spoken at a register of grace. Not loud enough to compete with everything that breeds the fear, but permanent enough to fill whatever emptiness takes place. In the sadness, he is speaking, not above it, not after it, inside it. And the ones who learn to listen now never hear the world quite the same way again.
There is a life built around the wrong things at the core. Ambition in the middle, fear behind every door. Constructed out of urgency and appetite and noise. A kingdom built on sand, dressed up to look like poise. And it holds together just enough to feel like ground, until the weight of living brings the whole construction down. And standing in the rubble of the thing they thought was real, a soul discovers emptiness was all they had to feel. Be the center of it all. Every room, every road, every rise and every fall. Not the background, not the footnote, not the last resort of prayer, but the axis everything is built around. Be there, be the center of it all. Where the wanting starts, where the deciding finds its wall. Let everything peripheral grow quiet and grow small. Be the center, be the center of it all. There are people who have given God the edges of their days, the leftover devotion and the second hand of praise, who fit him in between the calendar and the demand, and wonder why the life they built keeps slipping through the hand. A sun that gets removed from center pulls the planets loose. Everything begins to drift without that anchoring of use. And a life with God installed somewhere around the rim will always feel unbalanced, always circling away from Him. Be the center of it all. Fall. Not the background, not the footnote, not the last resort of prayer, but the axis everything is built around. Be there, be the center of it all. Where the wanting starts, where the deciding finds its wall. be the center of it all. Not just the Sundays and the seasons of despair, not just the emergencies when nothing else is there. Every ordinary Tuesday, every unremarkable noon, every silent drive to nowhere underneath the hollow moon. Because a God who only occupies the crisis and the need is a God reduced to utility, a function, not a creed. And what the soul was fashioned for was something more than use, a center that holds everything, a gravity, a truth. Take the edges, take the middle, take the parts still unconsecrated, take what was never offered, take what was held back out of fear. Be the reason the whole thing turns. Be the center of all of it. The water didn't ask permission when it started rising high. The wind didn't check the calendar before it split the sky. It came the way that chaos comes, without a warning sign, in the middle of a crossing that was going just fine. There are storms that hit the bloodstream before they hit the air, anxiety that manufactures weather everywhere. The chest becomes an ocean, and the mind becomes the deck, and everything that felt like solid ground becomes a wreck. But there is a voice that the water has to answer to, that spoke before the ocean knew the first thing that it grew. A voice that doesn't raise itself to overcome the sound, that simply says enough, and what was raging becomes ground. The wind obeys a language that the panic cannot hear, a frequency beneath the fear, beneath the atmosphere. And the ones inside the boat who thought the ending had arrived woke up to a stillness and could not believe they'd survive. Anxiety will tell a person everything is lost, will calculate the damage before tallying the cost. will flood the room with futures that have not yet come to pass, and build a coffin out of questions that were never meant to last. The disciples had seen miracles, had walked beside the power, and still the storm convinced them it would be their final hour. Because chaos has a volume that drowns out everything believed, and fear is very patient with the things it has conceived. But there is a voice that the water has to answer to, that spoke before the ocean knew the first thing that it grew. A voice that doesn't raise itself to overcome the sound, that simply says enough, and what was raging becomes ground. The wind obeys a language that the panic cannot hear, a frequency beneath the fear, beneath the atmosphere. And the ones inside the boat who thought the ending had arrived woke up to a stillness and could not believe they'd survive. He was sleeping in the stern while the hull was taking water, resting in the roaring like the storm was not his border. And the ones who woke him desperate missed the thing that should have stilled them. The fact that he was in the boat was already the answer. There is a peace that doesn't come from circumstances clearing, that exists inside the tempest, not just after it is past. And the voice that calmed the Sea of Galilee is here and hearing every storm that feels like first, and everyone that feels like last. The wind has a ceiling, the waves have a landlord, and the voice that set the boundaries of the ocean is the same voice available in the middle of the panic. Still enough. Enough. There are moments when the theology runs dry, when the doctrine offers nothing and the arguments comply. With silence, with the darkness, with the weight of what is real, and the only thing remaining is a name the broken feel. Not a concept, not a system, not a carefully built creed, but a name that carries history and meets immediate need. The kind of name that changes in the mouth of the desperate, from a word into a lifeline, from a sound into a breath. They call upon that name when the ground gives way beneath, when the sorrow has no bottom and the grief has got no ceiling. Not because the ritual demands it, not because the teaching said, but because that name is oxygen to lungs already dead. Jesus, Master, the one who walked the water and the dust, the one who turned the morning into something worth the trust. When everything collapses and the hands have nothing left to hold, that name becomes the only thing that doesn't come undone or cold. There are people in the middle of a crisis beyond words who have tried every language and been left without a cure. And somewhere in the trying, something ancient gets unearthed, a name carried in the bloodline since before the day of birth. The blind man by the roadside didn't craft a proper prayer, just hollered out that name above the crowd that told him to despair. And the one who wore that name did not continue walking past. Stop for the one who called it like he always stops, like he always has. They call upon that name when the ground gives way beneath, when the sorrow has no bottom and the grief has got no ceiling. Not because the ritual demands it, not because the teaching said, but because that name is oxygen to lungs already dead. Jesus, Master, the one who walked the water and the dust, the one who turned the morning into something worth the trust. When everything collapses and the hands have nothing left to hold, that name becomes the only thing that doesn't come undone or cold. Master means the one who has authority over the storm, who speaks in what was raging, has no choice but to conform, who enters into chaos, not as visitor but Lord, and leaves the scene unrecognizable to what it was before. And the ones who call him Master are not calling out a habit, they are making a declaration that their life is not their own, that the wheel has been surrendered, that the throne has found its inhabit, that the name above all names has finally been given its home in the falling, that name in the breaking, that name when no other word survives the moment, that name remains Jesus, Master, the one who still stops for the ones who dare to call. There are tombs that don't have stone and mortar holding them together, built from disappointment, built from years of broken weather. Dreams that were buried quietly without a proper service. People standing at the graveside wondering what the purpose. Some have watched the thing they love the most go cold and still, covered it in silence, learned to live against their will, constructed an existence on the far side of the hoping, and called it moving forward, while the inside kept on closing. But there is a voice that has no interest in the verdict, that walks up to the sealed and says the ending is incorrect. that stands outside the places where the living dare not linger, and calls the thing considered dead by name with a finger pointed at the grave. Come out from what has held you in the darkness. Come out from the conclusion that the world was quick to make. What you call a tomb, he calls a temporary address. What you call an ending, he calls a mistake. Lazarus had been 4 days deep when Jesus came to town. Past the point of hoping, past the point of turning around. And everyone who loved him had already rearranged their grief, had filed the loss appropriately, and reached for some relief. Martha said, if only you had come before the dying. Mary fell before his feet without the strength for testifying. And he who knew the ending stood and let the moment break him, wept beside the tomb before he spoke and came to wake him. Oh, but there is a voice that has no interest in the verdict, that walks up to the sealed and says the ending is incorrect, that stands outside the places where the living dare not linger, and calls the thing considered dead by name with a finger pointed at the grave. Come out from what has held you in the darkness. Come out from the conclusion that the world was quick to make. What you call a tomb, he calls a temporary address. What you call an ending, he calls a mistake. Depression builds its architecture slowly, stone by stone, seals the person inside a version of themselves they don't know. And the ones outside grow comfortable with absence, learn the grief, stop expecting resurrection, settle into disbelief. But the same voice that unraveled death on that Judean hill is the voice that finds the buried ones and finds them still. Not too far, not too gone, not too long inside the dark. He specializes in the tombs, he always has from the start. What you called finished, he called your name. What you called over, he called an address. And the voice that woke the dead in Bethany is the same voice standing outside whatever you have sealed yourself inside of, still saying, come out. The world has its conditions and its clauses and its fine print, has its waiting rooms of worthiness and gates of earned admit, has its scales and its measurements for who deserves a place, has its hierarchies of value and its carefully managed grace. But there is one who read the file and didn't close the door, who saw the full accounting and decided to see more. Not the version that was presentable, not the edited and clean, but the unredacted, unashamed, the everything in between. He takes the ones still bleeding from the wounds they can't explain. He takes the ones still smelling of the places they have been. He takes the unfinished, the disqualified, the stained. There is no one like this God. There has never been. No religion built by human hands would architect this door. No philosophy of merit would have kept it open this far. He receives what every other system has shown to the floor. There is no one, there is no one like our God. The prodigal came rehearsing all the ways to earn his keep, had the speech prepared, had calculated what to offer cheap. But the father saw him coming from a long and distant place and ran, which is a word that changes everything about grace. Because running means not waiting for the arrival to be clean, means not requiring the apology before the arms come near, means the welcome was already written in between every step of the returning. Long before the sun got here, he takes the ones still bleeding from the wounds they can't explain. He takes the ones still smelling of the places they have been. He takes the unfinished, the disqualified, the stained. There is no one like this God. There has never been. No religion built by human hands would architect this door. No philosophy of merit would have kept it open this far. He receives what every other system has shown to the floor. There is no one, there is no one like our God. Every altar built by human hands required something brought. Every system of devotion had a price for what was sought. But this one walked toward the cost himself and covered what was owed, and then stood at the entrance of the very ones he'd saved and called them home. He does not love the potential of a person clean and new. He loves the actual, the present, the still struggling, the untrue. And what the world discards is damaged, past repair, too far gone. he calls material. He calls it something worth building on. There is no cause that operates like this. No system, no religion, no philosophy. He sees the worst of it and calls it welcome. He knows the full of it and calls it loved. There is no one like him. There never was, there never will be.
There are people who walked away from everything they knew, not with grand announcements, just a slow and quiet withdrew. Drifted from the table like a candle losing flame, to the seat they used to occupy, forgot their name. Some left wounded, some left weary, some just lost the thread. Some convinced themselves the fold was better off instead. Built a life among the distance, learn to call it fine, while something in the marrow kept on aching for a sign. But he left the 99, left the safe, the found, the settled, and the warm. Went into the dark and tangled, and the far side of the storm. Not because the math made sense, not because the odds were right, but because one missing soul was worth the wilderness at night. He left the 99, and the one who thought themselves forgotten, thought themselves too far, was the very one that moved him, was the reason for the search. You were never just a number, you were never just a name. You were the whole reason he came. Shame has a way of making distance feel like destiny, convincing the estranged that they have forfeited their place, that too much time has passed now, too much water, too much history, that the door that once was open has forgotten their face. But the shepherd in the parable did not consult the record, did not weigh the cost of wandering against the cost of search. Just rose and went, because the going was the only word that love has ever known when one of its own is hurt. But he left the 99, left the safe, the found, the settled, and the warm. Went into the dark and tangled, and the far side of the storm. Not because the math made sense, not because the math, not because the odds were right, but because one missing soul was worth the wilderness. At night he left the 99, and the one who thought themselves forgotten,
thought
themselves too far,
was the very one that moved him,
was the reason for the search.
you were never just a number,
You were never just a name. You were the whole reason he came. Heaven throws a party over one who finds their way.
not a quiet acknowledgement,
Not a polite and measured praise. A celebration that suggests the one returning home was carrying a vacancy that all the rest could never fill alone. Because the fold was always incomplete without that particular soul. And the God who counts by name does not round down to whole. Every single missing one represents an open space that 99 can never fill, that only grace can replace. You were not forgotten in the wandering. You were the reason for the leaving. He did not stay and mourn the lost. He went, and he is still going, still out there, looking for the one. Looking for the one.